What's going on, y'all? It's Adrian B. Little Miss Jersey back at it again. This time with one of my personal faves, y'all. Macc and Cheese is in the building. What's up, man?
Yo, what's going on, sis? What's good?
How are you?
I'm excellent. It feels good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I feel great. Life is good.
Good. So, for everyone who doesn't know who Macc and Cheese is, who is Macc and Cheese?
Macc and Cheese is an entrepreneur. He's a survivor. And just an all-around funny American guy, you know?
Okay.
You know?
So where did the name Macc and Cheese come from?
So Macc and Cheese was a nickname that was given to me sometime back in the day. Yeah, sometime back in the day. It was a funny thing, period. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're just gonna leave it like that.
Leave it confidential, y'all. Not everything is for y'all.
Yeah, fair word. It's not for everybody, you know what I'm saying?
So how did you get into all of the things that you do? Let's give a rundown of all the things.
Cool. So first, what most people don't know is I've been in the medical field. I was in the medical field for close to 20 years before while doing podcasting and online radio. Mm-hmm. 13 years ago, I had a heart and liver transplant, which took me out of the clinical portion of the medical field. Okay. And which allowed me to jumpstart the careers that I have now as being a partner in a smoke shop, podcasting and emceeing, hosting shows, and a variety of other things.
Yeah. When I saw some of the key points for today, I actually didn't know that, and it made me think of, you never know what people go through and how they got to where they are today.
Facts.
So, just speaking on trial and tribulation as being a creative and just how it, brought you to where you are today. What was that process like going?
So, it was crazy because, they always say you never find out who really in your corner until you go through something. Mm-hmm. And that's truer than anything ever. Yeah. So at this point in time, you know what I mean? I had a following because I was still in college. I had just became the main DJ for the radio station. So my life was good. Then all of a sudden this happened. And the support that I did have was phenomenal. You know what I mean? Having had heart problems all my life, being born with tetralogy of Fallot, it's a congenital heart disease in which a child is born with an underdeveloped or missing left ventricle. Okay. So your left ventricle is the biggest muscle and the main muscle in your heart that pumps the oxygenated blood throughout your body. So without having one, your body is toxic blood and all the bad blood is being pumped throughout your body, which causes issues in various other organs. So being born with that, I was already at a handicap per se. I had my first open heart surgery when I was 3 months old. Wow. My mom was breastfeeding me and I died in her arms. Wow. I then had another one to remodify everything that they did when I was 3 months old at 6 years old. Mm-hmm. And then that took me through, high school was cool. Went through college and it wasn't towards the end until, my heart just gave out. And they told me the only way I was going to beat it is if I had a heart and liver transplant.
Wow. That's deep. So at what point did you start to take the reins on your life and be like, you know what, regardless of what I'm going through, regardless of how I'm feeling and just, overall my physical state, what was that moment like for you?
I'm going to tell you, when I really took a hold, it was when the doctor came in and he called my real name and he said, this may be the last place you see. You feel what I'm saying? And I was only then 28. So, and my reply to him was, that's what you think. You know what they teach you in the book. Mm-hmm. And those was my exact words to him. And from that moment on, everything changed. And because I was a medical professional myself, it helped in keeping me calm, keeping me level-headed, and helping me see the whole process throughout. You know what I mean? Wow. But that was when someone told me that it was going to be the last place I see and that there was nothing that could be done. And it was like, no, I can help myself. Yeah. If y'all can, I can at least do something. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that was that moment. And it felt good.
So how does that impact your work today? And all that you do?
Because, I'm a big thinker. I'm a big dreamer. People have told me that all my life. Mm-hmm. And I don't accept no and I don't take no. Yeah, I may come with an idea. It may not be fully developed, But check it out. We're going to go back to the drawing board. We're going to develop and we're going to see it all the way through. And that's been one of my things that I want to stand on. It's hard, you know what I'm saying, to see everything through because complications in life happens. But for the most part, being consistent and staying focused in that, that's what I pride myself in doing. You know what I mean?
That's so good. That's so good. So after all of the triumph, right, today, what do you have going on that people can basically support you on?
So I founded Hearts in Hand. It's a nonprofit devoted to education and advocacy for patients awaiting solid organ and or tissue transplant. We've been in existence since 2014, September 9th, 2014. I successfully, in its inception, secured 4 chapters in other states, Texas, Florida, New York, and New Jersey. So those 4 chapters are currently operating. We have volunteers in the hospitals that just advocate, talk to the patients. They're just there by their side, helping them, talk to them, because it's the small things in those type of situations. You know, when I was there, just to have somebody come, and even if we didn't talk, just to have somebody sit there just in case I was going through something, that meant a lot to me. That helped me. So I try to provide, we do, Hearts and Hands provides the volunteers that'll do the same thing specific for those patients. So that's me. Macc and Cheese is Hearts and Hands. You know what I mean? Besides the funny, laughing, lit, you know what I'm saying? I'm for the transplant community and education of that, because a lot of people don't understand it and they frown upon it when transplant and organ donation is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
You know, it is. And I'm here to tell you about it.
Yeah. This is actually such a different light and perspective that, and just conversation that we're having right now. Because a lot of the times, like Cheese said, like we're in like very social environments where we're around a lot of people. It's fun. We're around creatives and we're just enjoying our environment. But when it comes to conversations like this, like I said before, it's like you really never know what people have gone through. And I didn't really know this until now. So my biggest question now is like, what is the most misconstrued notion about organ donors and transplants that people don't necessarily know about?
So the first one and the main one is people think that if you're an organ donor, the hospital, EMTs won't save your life. And that's not true. In order to be an organ donor, you have to be alive. And when I say alive, no brain electricity, but your heart still has to be functioning. Your lungs still have to work, your liver, everything. And what most people don't know is after you lose brain electricity, the rest of your organs are working. You have 6 hours to get the heart out and into a new body. You have 8 hours to get the lungs out. It might be even more now with technology and medicine, but there's specific times that each of these organs are still functioning after, one has lost brain activity. So it's important to know that signing up to be an organ donor doesn't devalue you or take away from your life. You're helping someone else, fulfill a life, or even in my case, give them a second chance at life, and it's an amazing thing. I was one person, I remember telling my mom clearly, God gave me this heart. And if at 28 it's time for me to go, that's just what has to happen. And as you lay there and when that happens, you be like, oh nah. Like when they brought me back, I was so thankful. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I had to be open-minded myself. Like, yo, if they offering it, bro, take it. You know what I'm saying? Who are you to deny something that someone's giving you? You know what I'm saying? So I just accepted it and shut up. And I'm living great because of it. I'm happy. It was one of the best decisions I made in my life.
So what's that process like for those who may want to sign up to be a donor or someone who may be on the verge of looking for a transplant?
So as an organ donor, it's simple. All you have to do is go down to your local DMV, and when you register or renew your license or anything like that, check the little box that says, I want to be an organ donor. They'll put it on your license, and whatever happens from there, just know once you do, pass away, there is someone at the New Jersey Sharing Network. That's New Jersey's organ procurement organization. They will claim, your loved one's body or your body, and there's someone in the room with you as they harvest your body. They give your family a complete rundown, and it's a beautiful experience once you know about it, and if you're open to that. I've been a volunteer for the New Jersey Sharing Network ever since my heart and liver transplant. So I've actually met some of the harvest clinicians that are in the room with, and their purpose is just to keep the deceased at ease. Yeah. They're human too. You know what I'm saying? So they keep everything humanitarian. And it's a beautiful thing. It really is a beautiful thing. So I encourage it. Now on the transplant end, as a candidate, it's a little bit difficult. What people should know is the main thing that will keep you off the transplant list is the lack of support from the outside.
Really? What do you mean by that?
Meaning, so fortunate for me, I had family, I had friends, I had people coming every day. There's some people who had no one. The doctors had no one to call. The nurses had no one to reach out. That's a negative in the sense that they're looking at it as someone's making an ultimate sacrifice to give you a new life. And you don't have anyone in your corner to support you when things may get rough. Because the journey's not easy. For a whole month after I had perfectly good health, I was right up under my mother's ass. Excuse me. You know what I mean? Just because for so long, I was sick. And now all of a sudden I'm better, and you want me to just go out into this world? Nah, we're not doing that. So these type of things will keep you off the transplant because you can't run to the hospital all the time for every little thing. There's not always someone accessible to talk to. You know what I'm saying? It's not only a physical healing, but it's mental. I was in the hospital for 10 and a half months every day, listening to heart monitors, people die, other family. Like when I came home, it was just like, you know what I'm saying? Coming back home from jail. Only difference between being in jail and being in the hospital was I could have visitors whenever I wanted to. I wasn't confined to my room.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. But everything else, I couldn't leave when I wanted to.
Yeah.
My family couldn't come up. I mean, they could, but at 4:00 in the morning, when you got all types of craziness on your mind and you dying, who coming up there to talk to you or see you? You know what I'm saying? So you need that mental support after. You know what I mean? And that's the biggest thing that people think, oh, I do drugs. If you do drugs and drink, yeah, but you should know better. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you can be a person that doesn't drink, smoke, do any. If they're gonna ask you, who do you have as support? And they don't mean immediate family. You could say my girlfriend, my next door neighbor has been my support system for 20 years. Okay, cool. But if you say nobody, that's gonna keep you off faster than anything you can imagine.
Yeah. This is actually like changing my perspective when it comes to this topic, right? Because in high school, I think in health ed and physical education, they will always tell us like, you can become a donor, you can sign up, you go to your same thing you just told us, DMV and everything. And I think one of the first thoughts that comes to my mind is like, all right, well, if I sign up, are they just gonna call me at any moment and be like, yo, we need your liver, yo, we need your heart, yo? It's not like that.
So I'm glad you brought up the liver. Kidney and liver are the only two organs that you can donate living. Okay. Be alive, be awake for the whole process. And also, those are the only two organs that regenerate on their own. So let's just say, for instance, you need a liver transplant, right? They'll draw your blood, they'll draw my blood. If our blood types match, our antibodies match, boom. They'll say, hey, we found you a match. They'll talk to me. I have to go through a whole series of screenings, tests. Once I agree, we know each other. They'll say, hey, it's a match. They'll give you a transplant date. We'll both go into surgery. They'll make it happen. They'll only cut a portion of my liver, give it to you, and it'll grow within your body over the years.
Oh, wow. So it's not taking the whole
It's not taking, no. But the only two organs that happens with is the liver and kidney. Yeah. Now your lungs, you can live with one lung. So they can either transplant one or double. Or now they're able to do lobes. Okay. So if you need a lobe, they can do that. The heart really is the only one that is a deceased donation, really.
So This might be a dumb question, and Q might have to edit it out with footage. But so if I'm a receiver, right, if you like give me a piece of your kidney, the piece that I'm taking, does it regenerate back for you?
I'm not gonna say yes or no. I'm really not sure about that, but I know it'll grow as it fills the cavity that is missing in your body. Yeah.
Okay.
That I do know. Wow. That I do know, and I know I mean, I would assume it would, but I don't want to assume. But I know the liver portion will regenerate itself because that's just your liver is probably the strongest and most amazing and most durable organ that you have. You know what I mean? Because your liver is like the toilet bowl for your body. You know what I'm saying? So it withstands everything.
Yeah.
So it can do everything, and most heart liver transplants, and in successful fulfilled surgeries or transplants, just because you're getting the main machine and the toilet. So in theory, you have a brand new
Whole
system.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So yeah, transplant is a beautiful thing. And this is what makes me excited to educate you. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, we chopped it up. We done, know what I mean?
Yes.
And to sit here and have this conversation and see how, like, I could see how it's opening your eyes and like making you think. And like, that's my mission after I've had this blessing in this journey, to let people know it's scary on both ends. But if you actually meet someone, talk to them, learn about it, and if you ultimately make the decision, thank you. And if not, I'm not mad. To each his own, but at least you're informed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have the information. And that's the key. Knowledge is power, yo. Word up. Macc and Cheese said it.
So for those that are, a little fearful of your next steps, if this is something that is close to home for you or even personal for you, sometimes it does take, all the time, it takes a lot of stepping out on faith to just do what you need to do for yourself a lot of times. And even if you don't have the support sometimes, like Mac was saying, it feels like you could be rejected. But if you reach out and just let some of the people around you know, like at least the ones that you speak to frequently,
Facts.
colleagues, friends, family, whoever it is, shoot, a stranger that you just met on the bench the other day that checks on you. You feel me? Count those people as your support system too. They're all blessings around you, and you just got to do what you need for yourself. So,
word.
That's different, Mac. That's really different. So, you have a lot going on.
Yeah.
You're a media personality. You have events coming up. You're an artist and a musician too. So, let's talk about some of your passion projects and how you're able to, vent to all of the other forms that you have.
So, passion projects, I just love being out in the community with the people.
Yeah.
So that's my first passion. So anything that comes along with being out with the people, whether it's education, whether it's having a good time, whether it's whatever, that's what I enjoy. So the biggest thing I'm working on now is for the organization.
Okay.
And giving back to the community is something that over the past couple months I've really found myself enjoying. I never thought I was going to be a big
man of service.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I never thought I was going to, but I enjoyed it. I was out there. We had a great time.
Yeah.
So my next big passion project is going to be, community related for the health community and for the homeless. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we know these people. We know one side of their story. They're homeless because we see it. But like you said, you never know if this person who's homeless had a transplant. I've met organ transplant recipients who are homeless. You know what I mean? And I work for them harder because it's like the amount of medications they have to take, the things that they have to go through just to maintain a quote unquote normal life, to be able to wake up and breathe regularly and do all the things that some of us take for granted that have never been in that situation. Like I had to learn how to eat and do all that over again. You know what I'm saying? So that my passion project is for the healthcare and for the community and specifically the homeless, because it's getting rough out here.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. That's actually something I'm gonna talk to y'all after. We always have our sessions afterwards.
Word.
We do. But Going into your media personality bag, when did you know that you were really good with people?
Probably the first day I was asked to audition to be a DJ for Demon Deacons Radio at Bloomfield College.
Okay.
So that day I had walked past the little radio station and I became a popular person on campus. So one day the auditions came out. So everybody, yo, I know you going down there to audition. I know you are. I'm like, yeah, I'll go. Me, I'm off doing something else. Everybody, it seemed like the whole campus called me. Yo, they waiting for you to come do this audition. I go to the studio. Hey, when I tell you, it seemed like the whole college was there. I was like, this not even a real show. Like, this is just, they just wanted me to be there. And then, so from that point on, it pretty much was the deal. And then since then, I've been out after even in the hospital, doctors, nurses, like I had personal rapport with these people just because I like to keep a humanitarian side to everything. Yeah, we know there's a business professional side and doctor-patient relationship and all that. But at the end of the day, besides the title, we human beings who bleed the same blood. Yeah. We just different height, weight, and color. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? So if you could find anything like me, sports, Twizzlers, and honey buns was what had me going in the hospital. And every time one of the nurses came in to draw my blood, anything, yo, so for this blood, that's 2 honey buns. You know what I'm saying? So I had to make it, you know what I'm saying? I had to do something to make it positive and enjoyable. And because the nurses and the people actually cared, they made it enjoyable for me too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So humanitarian and just being objective to things, I feel, took me a long way. Mm-hmm. Very far.
So if there was any advice that you would give someone watching this video that maybe wanted to contact you or, reach out or support all that you're doing, where can they find that info?
So you can go to Instagram, Hearts in Hand. That's HEARTS, the letter N and hand, HAND. If you add an S, it's going to pull up a whole nother organization. Yeah. So leave the S off of hand. It's Hearts, the letter N, and then hand. Also, my website will be out January 6th. It's macandcheese.com, MAAC, the letter N, CHEEZ.com. You can click Hearts in Hand, find out information there, and then just follow me on the gram. Oh, also on YouTube, Hearts in Hand TV. That you'll find all my funny moments and a lot of the education that we do for the patients. Yeah. Starting next year, we're actually going to be doing every Thursday, there's going to be a half an hour session on the steps of transplant. Yeah. So how to make the list, what happens when you make the list, the tests that go along with the list. Mm-hmm. Because like I was saying, it's so many different steps just to be accepted. Mm-hmm. And then comes the hard part of the wait. Okay. You know what I mean? And it can be pretty anxious and tedious. So I just want to be able to provide the information for the people. You know what I'm saying? And especially, the urban community. Yeah. Because in our community, the need for kidneys and livers is high. Yeah.
And all of this is very stressful. It's very intense on the individual that are, facing mm-hmm. these situations. And now I'm wanting to ask another follow-up question of, if you are going through these things or in the midst of going through it, what helped you through? Like, what were your coping mechanisms that you ran to?
Just honestly, my friends, my parents. I remember it was a time I couldn't even get out of bed, just because I couldn't breathe right. I told my mom, next thing you know, I heard her on the phone, doorbell ring. I got like 5 of my homies coming upstairs, you know what I mean? And they were just them being there, took a little nap, woke up, they were still there. I felt better, mm-hmm. you know what I mean? Because I wasn't alone. My mom wasn't alone. You know what I'm saying? I've always been a people-centered person. Mm-hmm. And fortunate for me, I've always had people in my life that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. When they know I needed them, they came. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's what got me through. That was my fallback. Just different people who really supported me and held me down.
That's a blessing. Am I missing any other topics or anything else that you want to share with the audience before we kind of wrap up today?
Nah, just check it out, Mac and Cheese. Follow me on the gram, and just know, you know, organ transplant, organ donation again is not something that's put out there by the government to control, manipulate, or any of those conspiracy theories that they have going on. Another fact: many religions support transplant. Just look further into what your religion and how they deal with it or handle it or what have you. But from personal knowledge and just through education from different religious leaders, Islamic, Jewish, Catholic, Christian, with personal knowledge of this, I've been able to, get the answers to these questions. So, like I said, follow Hearts and Hand TV on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram, Mac and Cheese, and whatever else you need to know, macandcheese.com. And I'm there.
And before we go, tell them also about the upcoming events you have.
Oh, that's right. So coming up, we have a 24-hour streaming event filled with a comedy show, dancing, singing, and so much more. Proceeds will benefit the transplant community. Oh, and yes, at this time, I want to take this time to give a shout out to a personal friend who came along my heart journey and who I was on her personal heart journey. She just recently experienced emergency situation, which is pretty severe. So I want to shout out to her, and a portion of the event that we will be holding next week will benefit her. So big shout to Bethany of Heart Charged organization, heartcharged.org. A lot of you may know her. Just send us some positive thoughts, positive feedback. But big shout to you. You're strong. And yo, we got you.
Fire, y'all. So basically, to wrap it up, we are going to say everything is going to work out. Keep a positive mental about any and everything that you go through. Nurture yourself, put yourself first, and make some decisions for you. Start being self-preserving is the word. Not selfish, but self-preserving, y'all. It's Adrian B. Little Miss Jersey back at it again with the one and only
Mac and Cheese, yo. Stay litty and stay lost. You heard?
We're going to see y'all later. Shout out to We Are Jersey. Bye, y'all.
One.